His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, accompanied by his sons, attended the wedding ceremony of Sheikh Khalifa bin Mohammed bin Khalifa bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, the grandson of the BDF Commander-in-Chief, Field Marshal Sheikh Khalifa bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, at the Commander-in-Chief's palace in Rafah. Field Marshal Sheikh Khalifa bin Ahmed expressed gratitude to His Majesty the King for attending his grandson Sheikh Khalifa's wedding ceremony and for his congratulations and kind sentiments. He prayed to Allah Almighty to bless His Majesty with good health and happiness. In his address at the opening of the fourth session of the sixth legislative term, His Majesty the King emphasized the importance of striving for a just and comprehensive peace, describing it as vital for restoring security and stability in the region. His Majesty highlighted Bahrain's significant role and unwavering commitment to supporting initiatives that seek to establish lasting and equitable peace, especially in relation to the Palestinian cause.
تواصل مملكة البحرين جهودها لإحلال السلام العادل والشامل باعتباره ضرورة لا غنى عنها لاستعادة أمن المنطقة واستقرارها. وفي هذا الشأن نعرب عن تقديرنا للجهود الدولية المبذولة لتحقيق هذا الهدف، ونشيد بالدور التاريخي لفخامة الرئيس دونالد ترامب رئيس الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية الصديقة وجهود الوسطاء في وقف الحرب في غزة، ونحث جميع الأطراف على الوفاء بالتزاماتها لتعزيز السلام. وستظل القضية الفلسطينية في صدارة أولويات المملكة خلال عضويتها غير الدائمة في مجلس الأمن للعامين القادمين. ونؤكد دعمنا الثابت لحل الدولتين واستعادة الحقوق المشروعة للشعب الفلسطيني باعتباره السبيل الأمثل لتحقيق الأمن والازدهار الذي تستحقهما المنطقة.
The ongoing royal affirmation reflects the steadfast principles of the Kingdom of Bahrain in supporting a just and comprehensive peace, as well as its enduring commitment to fostering stability and prosperity in the region. Guided by the wise leadership of His Majesty the King and supported by His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Bahrain continues to pursue a diplomatic and dialogue-driven approach. The kingdom believes that peace is fundamental to achieving development and serves as a national policy founded on the belief that true security is achieved through justice, with dialogue as the highest path for attaining regional stability and prosperity. With this national vision, Bahrain has elevated peace to a national value and dialogue to a means of strengthening cooperation among nations and peoples. And for decades, Bahrain has been an advocate of understanding and a builder of bridges, extending its hand to every initiative aimed at ensuring safety and halting conflict. His Majesty's recent praise of international efforts to cease hostilities in Gaza reaffirms that Bahrain plays an active role in fostering regional stability and values every sincere attempt to alleviate the suffering of the innocent and promote peace. As Bahrain embarks on a new phase of responsible diplomatic engagement with its non-permanent membership in the United Nations Security Council for the next 2 years, it carries its message to the world. Peace is the pathway to development, and justice is the foundation for lasting prosperity.
Bahrain's parliamentary division delegation, led by Speaker of the Council of Representatives Ahmed bin Salman al-Musallam, concluded its participation in the Assembly of the Inter-Parliamentary Union in Geneva. The delegation participated in all meetings and sessions presenting proposals and visions that support humanitarian and developmental issues, reflecting the values and principles of Bahrain's parliamentary diplomacy. During their speeches, the delegation reaffirmed Bahrain's support for all parliamentary and international efforts aimed at promoting peace, security and stability, as well as advancing development pathways in all countries. The delegation also participated in the closing session of the 151st General Assembly of the Union, where the Geneva Declaration was adopted, emphasizing the importance of adhering to humanitarian standards and supporting humanitarian work during times of crisis. Marking United Nations Day, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdulatif bin Rashid Al Zayani, commended the leadership of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and the efforts of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa in strengthening Bahrain's cooperation and strategic partnership with the UN. The Minister highlighted Bahrain's commitment to maintaining its long-standing and constructive cooperation with the UN. He emphasized the Kingdom's active role in multilateral efforts to promote peace and security, protect human rights and advance sustainable development. The Minister expressed pride in the coincidence of the 80th anniversary of the entry into force of the UN Charter, with Bahrain's election as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council for the 26-27 term, which reflects Bahrain's prominent regional and international role. Dr. Zayani highlighted the participation of His Majesty the King in the Sharm el-Sheikh Peace Summit in support of and appreciation for the efforts made by US President Donald Trump in achieving the agreement to end the war in Gaza. The Minister highlighted Bahrain's ongoing diplomatic and humanitarian efforts in line with the UN's objectives through promoting international cooperation in achieving sustainable development goals. Well, Bahrain joins the international community in celebrating United Nations Day, which this year is held under the theme United Nations at 80. Let's build our future together. Bahrain's celebration of this global occasion reflects its active presence on the international stage. We have more in this report.
The Kingdom of Bahrain proudly joins the United Nations in celebrating World UN Day under the theme, The United Nations at 80, Let's Build Our Future Together. This occasion reaffirms Bahrain's commitment to international cooperation and the values of coexistence and understanding among nations. Bahrain's participation embodies its wise diplomatic approach, inspired by the vision of His Majesty the King and guided by the directives of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. The Kingdom is dedicated to strengthening partnerships with the United Nations to achieve security, peace, and sustainable development. This year's celebration takes place against the backdrop of a growing diplomatic presence, highlighted by Bahrain's election as non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council for the 2026 to 2027 term, and its upcoming role in hosting the Gulf Summit next December. These milestones reflect the international community's confidence in Bahrain's balanced policies and constructive contributions. Bahrain remains steadfast in supporting UN objectives in human rights, sustainable development, and empowerment of women and youth, alongside initiatives in digital transformation. Key contributions from the King Hamad Global Center for Coexistence and Tolerance and the Royal Humanitarian Foundation further promote the values of peace and humanitarian cooperation. Bahrain's efforts in combating hatred and extremism, as well as fostering innovation, technology, and good governance, highlights a strategic partnership for sustainable development with 21 UN agencies. This commitment underscores Bahrain's dedication to building a future characterized by security, peace, and prosperity for all.
And for more on this, Chief of Organizations at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Hatem Abdelhamid Hatem, gave us this statement.
Bahrain's relationship with the UN is crucial and has evolved significantly since the Kingdom became a member in 1971. This partnership highlights Bahrain's dedication to global peace, development and human rights under the visionary leadership of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. Bahrain continues to demonstrate its utmost commitment to the UN and its purposes. Also here I want to take this chance to reminisce on His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince Prime Minister, and a statement when he led the delegation of Bahrain to the 79th session of the UN General Assembly last year. For his address, His Royal Highness called for much needed reforms within the UN to adapt to modern global challenges and maintain the integrity of international rule-based order, diplomacy, peace, and multilateralism, which are all key principles of Bahrain, which are also shared by the UN. His Royal Highness' message was clear. Bahrain remains committed to peaceful coexistence and collective prosperity, while still addressing the global crises like climate change, and sustainable development. I would like to highlight that Bahrain's long-term vision aligns very closely with the UN's agenda. Sustainable development, human rights, and climate action are all things that the UN and the Kingdom both follow very closely. The Kingdom's Vision 2030, which focuses on economic diversification and social development, also go hand in hand with the UN's goals. Bahrain has signed many UN conventions, most notably the Paris Agreement, and has led the way in trying to address all the challenges that the UN focuses on. Bahrain has also served many times on the UN Human Rights Council, multiple times in that field. Bahrain also very recently has been elected for a second time unanimously to the UN Security Council, which showcases not only the relationship of the Kingdom with the UN, as also Bahrain's presence in the global community. Bahrain recently, a few months ago, signed the new Sustainable Development Comprehensive Framework for the years 25 to 29. And for this framework, which was negotiated and developed by over 20 UN agencies, along with all the government agencies in Bahrain, showcases that the goals are aligned, and not only to reach the goals, the 2030 Agenda 2030, for far beyond that. Many things were taken into perspective: climate action, environment, telecommunications, education, all those fields, which only goes to showcase the relationship between both sides. And here I want to highlight that Bahrain was the first country, the Kingdom was the first country to sign such framework with the UN, which only shows that the UN, how much importance the UN gives to the Kingdom of Bahrain.
Bahrain's parliamentary division participated in the closing of the 216th session of the Interparliamentary Union Governing Council in Geneva. The Governing Council reviewed reports from permanent and specialized committees that addressed key topics, including gender equality, women's empowerment, youth support, enhancing democracy and human rights, and issues related to the environment and climate change. The session also discussed initiatives and projects between the IPU and national parliaments in the fields of development and sustainable peace. The first Deputy Chairman of the Shura Council, Jamal Mohammed Fakhru, delivered a speech at the 151st Assembly of the Interparliamentary Union on behalf of the President of the Arab Interparliamentary Union and head of the Arab Group, Ibrahim Boughali, in Geneva. Fakhru said that this session of the IPU was an important opportunity to renew the shared commitment to the principles of international law, justice and humanity at a time when the world is undergoing profound changes and challenges. He added that the ceasefire achieved in Gaza is only the first step of a long road, pointing that true and lasting peace can only be achieved through a final and just solution to the Palestinian cause in accordance with international legitimacy resolutions. Fakhru said that Arab Parliamentary Group renews its call for collective and effective international parliamentary action aimed at delivering humanitarian aid to Gaza in accordance with the principle of neutrality and humanitarian need, and that without discrimination, delay or political conditions. He said that the Arab Group calls for the establishment of a just peace, an end to the cycle of wars and conflicts, and support for the path of restoring stability and development in all regions of the world. Fakhru added that parliamentary diplomacy is not a political luxury, but a humanitarian and moral necessity that enables parliaments to be the voice of the people in the face of war, discrimination and occupation. The first Deputy Chairman of the Shura Council, Jamal Fakhru, delivered a speech at the Assembly of the Inter-Parliamentary Union in Geneva. He said that the Women's Leadership Initiative represents a fundamental investment in democracy as it supports gender equality and serves all segments of society. He noted that this initiative is in line with strategic priorities of the IPU in gender equality and youth participation. Fakhru said that gender equality is the main theme of the IPU this year, noting that the pioneering initiative is not just a project but a fundamental investment in democracy that serves everyone, which enables the expansion of partnership and deeper engagement with civil society and strengthens the role of parliamentarians in supporting women's participation and leadership in political and parliamentary work. The Minister of Transportation and Telecommunications, Dr. Sheikh Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, participated in the 27th meeting of the GCC Ministerial Committee for Transport and Communications in Kuwait. GCC Ministers of Transport and Communications, as well as the Secretary General of the GCC, Jassim Mohammed Al Budaiwi, attended the meeting. The Minister affirmed Bahrain's support for all efforts aimed at enhancing Gulf integration in the fields of transport and communications. He said that these efforts contribute to supporting economic growth and facilitating trade and the movement of individuals in line with the objectives of Bahrain's Economic Vision 2030 and the GCC's vision of strengthening interdependence and integration among member states. He stressed the importance of continued cooperation among GCC countries to achieve integration in this sector, noting that Bahrain continues to adopt initiatives and projects that contribute to strengthening Gulf connectivity and developing transport infrastructure, thereby strengthening its position as a regional logistics hub and a center for international trade. The meeting discussed vital topics aimed at strengthening the transport system between GCC countries, including land and sea connectivity projects, the development of unified regulations for international land transport, and follow-up on the implementation of the Gulf Railway project, as well as exploring ways to enhance logistical integration and develop infrastructure that supports sustainable transport, thereby contributing to economic growth and stimulating trade. The Minister of Youth Affairs, Rouan Najib Tawfiqi, met with Saudi Arabia's Minister of Sports, His Royal Highness Prince Abdulaziz bin Turki Al Saud, during his official visit to Bahrain to attend the 3rd Asian Youth Games hosted in the kingdom. She stressed pride in the deep fraternal relations between both countries, which represent a leading model of strategic partnership and joint integration, thanks to the generous support of His Majesty the King and the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, and the follow-up of their Royal Highnesses, the Crown Princes, Prime Ministers of both countries. The minister said that expanding youth cooperation between the 2 countries is part of the strategy led by the representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs, Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, and that with the support of the First Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, Chairman of the General Sports Authority, President of the Bahrain Olympic Committee, His Highness Sheikh Khaled bin Hamad Al Khalifa, to enhance cooperation and exchange experiences in the field of youth development and empowerment. Both sides emphasized the importance of continuing constructive cooperation in the field of youth through the launch of qualitative initiatives that promote integration between the 2 countries and support the development of a conscious and creative young generation that contributes to the future development of both countries. Asian teams continue their participation in the 2025 Asian Youth Games, drawing enthusiastic crowds from various teams and individual sports. Our national team are competing in the championship with notable Bahraini excellence in mixed martial arts and Muay, alongside strong and commendable performances in techball and other sports such as athletics. The teams aim to deliver their best performances, underscoring their commitment to excellence and victory in this exceptional edition of the Games. Well, Bahrain continues to shine on the continental stage, reaffirming its excellence in both participation and organisation at the Third Asian Youth Games. Let's have a look.
Bahrain reaffirmed its excellence in both participation and organisation at the Third Asian Youth Games, with a strong presence of male and female athletes across various sports. The kingdom showcased its commitment to empowering Bahraini youth and encouraging national participation on home soil. This participation indicates a remarkable diversity in the games hosted by this tournament, enabling Bahraini players to compete in various sports offered within this championship. The ambition of Bahraini youth today raises the banner of competition to reach the podium thanks to the great support enjoyed by the sports sector, which embodies the royal vision that today's youth are the real investment in Bahrain's sporting future. Drawing the world's attention to the potential and determination of Bahrain's athletes to earn achievements and raise the kingdom's standing on the international sporting map. At the same time, Bahrain's organizational success drew widespread praise from participating delegations who admired the smooth procedures, advanced facilities, and attention to detail that defined the event. Behind this achievement stood Bahrain's national cadres, whose dedication and professionalism ensured the games were held to the highest international standards. Through this remarkable hosting and spirited participation, Bahrain once again proved its status as a leading regional sporting destination, a nation driven by determination, unity, and excellence.